Hey everyone, welcome to F1 Blogs on YouTube. Today we're doing a deep dive into one of the biggest stories in Formula One right now. Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari and what it might mean for the 2025 season. We're basing our analysis today on a video from the YouTube channel F1 Blogs.
Okay.
So if you want to see the full video, we'll drop a link for you in the description.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Okay.
We're talking about a 7-time world champion, arguably one of the best drivers ever, leaving the team that helped him achieve most of that success.
Right.
To join a team that, well, hasn't exactly been a model of consistency in recent years.
Yeah.
And this move has really got people talking.
Yeah.
Because Hamilton is coming off the worst season of his entire F1 career. To help us break down all the angles and really understand what's going on, I've got an expert here with me today.
Okay.
Someone who can explain the technical stuff, the psychology of it all, and the historical context. So first things first.
Right.
What went wrong for Hamilton in 2024?
Oh.
It was shocking to see him struggling like that.
You have to remember that 2024 was the second year of these new ground effect regulations. They essentially brought back a design concept that F1 used decades ago, where the cars generate downforce by shaping the airflow underneath them.
Okay, so that means the cars handle completely differently now, right?
Exactly. And some drivers adapted to those changes better than others. Sadly, for Hamilton, he was one of the drivers who just couldn't quite get to grips with it.
And that's reflected in his results, right?
Yeah.
He finished 7th in the championship standings.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unheard of for a driver of his caliber.
Absolutely. To give you an idea of how far off the pace he was consistently outqualified by his teammate George Russell by a pretty big margin. In fact, the gap between them was the same as the one between Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll over at Aston Martin.
Wow, that really puts things in perspective. We're not just talking about a little dip in form. This was a serious performance gap for someone like Hamilton.
Right, and it's not like he's suddenly forgotten how to drive. This points to a more specific issue, something that was preventing him from extracting the maximum performance from the car, particularly over a single lap in qualifying.
And this is where we get to what F1 Blogs calls the Vegas paradox.
Okay.
Hamilton actually said after the Las Vegas Grand Prix that he wasn't fast anymore.
Oh, really?
But then in the very next race, he pulls off this incredible overtake on Russell on the last lap in Abu Dhabi.
That's the strange thing. His race pace was often very strong, which suggests that it wasn't a general decline in skill, but something specific affecting him in qualifying.
So he was almost like two different drivers on Saturdays and Sundays, fast in the race, but struggling to put together a quick lap in qualifying.
Precisely. And that raises an important question.
Okay.
What was it about those single-lap qualifying runs that was tripping him up? Was it the car setup, tire warm-up, or something else entirely?
It's a real puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah.
And here's where things get even more interesting. Because it turns out that Hamilton might have already discussed these 2024 struggles with Ferrari before he officially signed with them.
That's right. F1 Blogs highlighted some intriguing comments from Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur back in December 2024. Vasseur basically brushed aside any concerns about Hamilton's pace, pointing to his strong 50 laps in the Las Vegas GP as proof of his ability.
So even after that difficult season, Vasseur wasn't worried about bringing Hamilton on board.
It seems that way. And remember, Vasseur and Hamilton have a history. They worked together at RT before Hamilton even entered Formula One. They've known each other for a long time. There's a level of trust and understanding there.
So this wasn't just your typical driver signing.
No.
There was a pre-existing relationship and maybe even some very frank conversations about Hamilton's performance issues.
Exactly. And that adds a whole new layer of complexity to this move. It suggests that both Hamilton and Ferrari went into this with their eyes wide open, aware of the challenges, but also believing that they can overcome them.
Okay, so we've got a 7-time world champion coming off his worst ever season, joining a team that has its own share of baggage.
Yeah.
And it looks like there might be some very specific and possibly technical reasons behind Hamilton's struggles.
Yeah.
But there's another piece of this puzzle, in there. Ferrari itself, their 2024 car, the SF24, also had a weakness. It was much better in races than in qualifying.
Oh, really?
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
It does indeed. And Ferrari's design philosophy tends to prioritize race pace and tire management over outright single-lap speed. They're likely to continue developing their cars in that direction.
So you're telling me that Hamilton might be walking right back into the same problem he faced at Mercedes?
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to solve a puzzle using the same pieces that didn't fit before?
It's a valid concern. And to make matters even more complex, he now has Charles Leclerc as a teammate, arguably the best qualifier on the current grid.
Oh, that's right. Leclerc is incredibly fast over a single lap.
He is.
Hmm.
And that's going to put immense pressure on Hamilton to match Leclerc's pace in a car that might not play to his strengths. It's a huge gamble for both Hamilton and for Ferrari.
So to recap, we've got Hamilton's mysterious qualifying struggles, potentially amplified by Ferrari's car characteristics,
Right.
and the added pressure of having to go up against Leclerc. Things are already starting to heat up, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a high-stakes game, for sure. And for you, it's not just about raw speed and lap times. You've also got to consider that Hamilton's entering a whole new team environment
Sure,
with
yeah.
different engineer strategies and a car that he's still getting used to.
There's a whole new culture, right?
Yeah.
Ferrari has all this history and passion,
Yeah.
but they've also got a reputation for internal politics, and,
Yeah.
well, let's just say they haven't always been the most supportive environment for their drivers.
That's a fair point. Think about what happened to Sebastian Vettel when he was at Ferrari. He went from being a 4-time world champion
Right.
to struggling to find his footing. The pressure cooker of Ferrari can be intense, especially for a driver who's used to being the dominant force in a team.
And Hamilton has definitely been the dominant force at Mercedes for a long time.
Exactly. So this move is a huge reset for him. It's a chance to prove himself all over again in a new environment against a new set of challenges.
It's almost like he's starting a whole new chapter in his career at a point when most drivers would be thinking about retirement.
Yeah,
You have to admire that, even if it's a risky move.
I agree. There's a real sense of him wanting to conquer new territory,
Yeah.
to push himself outside his comfort zone. And it's not just about Hamilton proving himself either. This move could have massive implications for Ferrari as well. They're desperate to get back to winning championships, and they've brought in a driver who knows how to do exactly that.
They've basically thrown down the gauntlet to the rest of the grid.
Yeah,
They're saying we're serious about winning, and we're bringing in the big guns to make it happen.
right. And that puts pressure on everyone, not just Hamilton. Leclerc will need to step up his game. The engineers have to deliver a car that can win races.
Right.
And the team management needs to create an environment where both drivers can thrive.
It's almost like a chain reaction, right?
Yeah.
Hamilton's arrival has the potential to shake things up at Ferrari in a big way. And those ripples could be felt throughout the entire sport.
Exactly. We could be looking at a potential shift in the balance of power in Formula One, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari. They're all going to be battling it out for supremacy.
It's going to be a season full of drama and excitement. I can't wait to see how it unfolds. It's moments like these that make Formula One so captivating.
Yeah.
This constant evolution with new stories, rivalries, and challenges emerging all the time.
Absolutely. But remember, even if Hamilton manages to sort out his qualifying issues and handle the pressure at Ferrari, there's another huge hurdle coming up in 2025 that he and everyone else on the grid will have to face.
You're talking about the new engine regulations, right?
Mm-hmm.
2026 is going to bring a major overhaul to the power unit formula with a bigger emphasis on electric power and sustainable fuels.
Yep.
That's going to require a whole new approach from the teams and the drivers.
It will. And for you as a viewer, it's going to be fascinating to see how Hamilton adapts to these new regulations, especially at this stage in his career.
He's always been known for his adaptability and his willingness to push boundaries.
Yeah,
But these new regulations are a whole different ballgame.
they are. It's not just about driving the car. It's about working with the engineers to develop the technology,
Right.
to understand all the nuances of these new power units, and to find that extra edge that can make all the difference.
It's a mental challenge as much as a physical one.
Right.
Right. And let's be honest, Hamilton hasn't always been known for his patience with technical issues or underperforming equipment.
True. But he's also shown a remarkable ability to adapt and overcome adversity throughout his career.
Plus, he'll be working with a team at Ferrari that's famous for its engine expertise.
Yeah.
They've been at the forefront of Formula One engine development for decades.
Exactly. So while the new regulations present a massive challenge, they also offer a huge opportunity for Hamilton and Ferrari to collaborate and create something truly special.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
Hamilton, energized by a new challenge, leading Ferrari back to glory in a new era of Formula One. It sounds like the stuff of legends.
It does, doesn't it? And that's the beauty of the sport. We can speculate and analyze, but in the end, we just have to wait and see what happens when the lights go out at the first race of the season.
It really is incredible to think about everything that's at stake here.
Yeah.
We've got this legendary driver at a crossroads in his career, a team hungry to reclaim its former glory,
Right.
and a whole new set of regulations that could shake up the entire sport.
It's the perfect recipe for an unpredictable and thrilling season. And for you as a fan, it's going to be fascinating to see who comes out on top.
So just to recap what we've gleaned from F1 blogs analysis,
Yeah.
Hamilton's move to Ferrari is anything but a simple superstar joins iconic team story.
Right?
There are still those unanswered questions about his qualifying pace. The possibility that Ferrari's car development philosophy could actually make those struggles worse.
Yeah.
The pressure of having Leclerc as his teammate, and then the looming engine regulation changes that could completely rewrite the rules of the game.
Absolutely. And it's crucial to remember that all of this is happening against a backdrop of incredibly fierce competition. Red Bull isn't going to just hand over their crown,
Right.
and Mercedes will be looking for redemption after a disappointing 2024 season.
Exactly. We could have multiple teams and drivers vying for the championship, which is what every Formula One fan wants to see.
For sure. The more contenders there are, the more exciting the season becomes.
Yeah.
Every single race, every qualifying session, every strategic decision takes on even greater significance.
So what does all of this mean for you, our listeners? Well, if you're a Formula One fan, get ready for a wild ride because 2025 is shaping up to be a roller coaster season. We've got established rivalries, new battles brewing, and a whole lot of unknowns.
And as we've been discussing, the Hamilton-Ferrari partnership just adds another layer of intrigue to it all. Will he rediscover his qualifying magic? Can he adapt to this new team environment? And how will he handle the immense pressure that comes with driving for Ferrari?
These are questions we can't answer just yet, but it's going to be absolutely captivating to see how things play out as the season unfolds.
You know, it makes you think back to some of the iconic driver-team pairings in Formula One history. Senna and McLaren,
Yeah.
Schumacher and Ferrari, Hamilton and Mercedes. Could Hamilton and Ferrari become the next legendary duo? Only time will tell.
That's a fantastic point. It really adds another dimension to this whole story.
It does. And it's a reminder that Formula One is about so much more than just cars going around a track. It's
Wow.
about the people, the personalities, the rivalries,
Passion.
the dreams, and the pursuit of excellence.
Beautifully said.
Hmm.
So as we head into this new era of Formula One, here's a thought-provoking question for you to ponder. Knowing everything we've discussed today, do you think Hamilton can conquer these challenges, overcome his qualifying demons, and lead Ferrari back to a championship title in 2025?
It's a question that's going to be on everyone's mind as the season gets underway. I, for one, can't wait to see what happens.
Me neither. And that's a wrap for our deep dive today. Thank you for joining us here on F1 Blogs on YouTube. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis, and don't forget to share it with your fellow F1 fans. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those engines revving.